Oh, all right. So One Piece was really interesting this week, and I feel like I say that every single week, but this week it felt a bit different. And the reason why it was different was, I mean, do I really have to say? There's so many things that we're finding out, and I made a video about Kaido as an antagonist recently. He's going up the list. He's moving up the list slowly but surely with what he knows. But what I need for you guys to do right now, before we talk about Kaido and Joy Boy and all these different things, sub to the channel. Sub to the channel for more content like this, because this weekend we will be diving into who is actually Joy Boy and why the hell does Kaido know anything about Joy Boy? That's crazy. So yeah, drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and let's get to the chapter. So it's a continuation. The chapter starts off where we ended off. Luffy falling into the water, but Kaido talking some smack, which I absolutely love because Kaido, again, moving up my list as an antagonist, and he's saying to Luffy, you didn't just lose because I'm stronger, etc. He's giving us a detailed, well, somewhat detailed breakdown as to why Luffy lost. Or rather saying, hey, you achieved something. You got Conqueror's Haki coding. You managed to do that, wherever your technique is awful. You expect to beat me, someone that's been seasoned in the new world with a technique you just learned? What was that? Gomu no. Love it because it not only brings Luffy back to earth or back to the sea, it kind of gives us a perspective or a different vantage point as to what actually went on up there, where Kaido, he was impressed that Luffy was coding his attacks, but it would be disrespectful to him if Luffy just learned an attack and overpowered him. One Piece is different. Not like regular shonen, right? Where sometimes a shonen character learns something that's already better than the other character. People are saying, well, hold on, sir. What about Whole Cake Island? One thing we know for a fact is that for Luffy and Future Sight, it is nowhere near as proficient as Katakuri's was. Future Sight is not the reason Katakuri lost. Conversation for another day. However, I loved how that was handled. Kaido mocking Luffy, Luffy's our guy, okay? We get that. But Kaido mocking him, it makes it better because it gives us more of Kaido's personality. Him doing that to Luffy is gonna make Luffy coming back and, basically defeating Kaido and beating his butt a lot more satisfying because, based on what he's doing right now. But the most important thing Kaido said is that Luffy could not be, it seems like he isn't Joy Boy either. So I have a bunch of questions, some that may not be answered right now or anytime soon for that fact. But first, Luffy's not Joy Boy either. Who's the other person that he felt like was Joy Boy? And now because Luffy's defeated, why does he think Luffy isn't Joy Boy? Is there a prophecy, something going around where Joy Boy never loses? Or based on what he did, does he assume Luffy is dead? There's so many questions because Kaido, it makes sense for him to know these things, because he is a Yonko and he's been on the seas for a long time, especially after encountering Oden. Did Oden have any influence on him finding out who Joy Boy is? Did he, perceive Oden to be Joy Boy? What about Momonosuke? There's so many questions going on in your mind because you can't help but think about in the flashback when they were in Fishman Island, Roger and Oden, and they heard the Sea Kings talking about the sovereign being born. Of course, we know that being Shirahoshi, but then there would be another sovereign born not soon after. So then you start thinking so many different things, but how does Kaido know any of this? When Kaido was first introduced, a lot of people felt like he was a brute, somebody that didn't know much, he just wanted to fight and wanted to die. So the layers that Oda's adding upon his character, it's blowing me away. And I'm really interested and intrigued by this man or thing, and I want to know more. Kaido backstory, I need it, but just how things have played out. Is there any doubt in your mind that this backstory is going to be amazing, right? And how it's going to tie into the story? Again, the mention of Joy Boy, he was a part of Rocks. Rocks needs a back, could have some influence in the things that he knows because Rocks, he was so dangerous. They erased him from history. I wouldn't be surprised if Rocks Zebek knew about Joy Boy and, he told that to his subordinates. So, man, I can't wait for Kaido's backstory. What I also liked is that Kaido did something that I would have done, right? And you like when characters perform in ways in which logically make sense. Kaido called up Bao Huang, said, hey, tell everybody I just beat his ass. Tell everyone that me, Kaido, just beat Luffy's ass, right? Which was like, I would do the same thing. And it goes along with what Kaido was saying, where he says, they won't believe it unless they see it, unless they see you be defeated, which I should have taken your head. So in a way, this is Kaido somewhat compensating for that, saying, hey, tell everyone he got defeated. And that had a major impact, I think, on people because they're looking back like, what? Luffy got what? right? And that could definitely impact morale. We also can't forget about Momonosuke, right? And he's reading the journal and he's like, okay, wait, hold on. This doesn't make sense. I can't afford to die. And we've seen Yamato say that to Momonosuke before, but in this situation, Momonosuke seeing it and reading it himself, because Yamato, she's so, she exaggerates a lot. She's just, wants to be Odin. So when Momonosuke reads it himself and says, oh, wait a second, I can't afford to die. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you? So that's even more lore that we're getting that we just want to find out more about. Again, Wano is shaping up to be one of the more important arcs to the end game of One Piece. Like we knew, we figured it'd be really important. Remember when the Marines talked about Wano and all the figures gathering in Wano? What does it really mean? We're starting to figure out what it means. And Kaido, man, I can't stop talking about him because he knows so much, and how he was introduced in comparison to how he is now, it's fantastic. So we got Gangster Gastino. He's not back per se, but he's in the flashback and where he's helping Chopper and talking to Chopper about his Rumble Ball, saying, you know what, this could be better. 3 minutes, that's no time. And here we see Chopper fighting Queen, which, it's cool, but nothing he's doing is working, which we expect, right? Chopper doesn't have haki. And for Queen being an ancient Zoan, nothing Chopper does will be able to do anything to Queen. So as cool as it is, Chopper doing all these things to Queen is like, yeah, it's not going to do anything to Queen. You need haki. And Queen is funny because Queen is like, you're really out of breath for someone that, should be winning right now. Remember, Queen is a scientist, someone like that, an inventor, somebody that's good with his hands. He knows things. He's smart. So I'm like, is he going to be able to deduce what Chopper is doing? Is that why he's letting Chopper just exhaust his stamina and just like, you know what? You're wheezing a lot for somebody that's supposed to be winning. But we shall see. A reaction I especially like is Sanji and Zoro both saying, screw that, right? Like, whatever, dude. No way, get out of here. And you know what? It just goes to show these two and how much belief they have in him. Of course, the other Straw Hats, they didn't necessarily react, but I'm sure they feel the same way. Like, whatever, bro. You can say whatever you want. We know what's true. The truth is Luffy did get annihilated, but he's not dead. The final parts of the chapter with Kinemon, Kiku, Kanjuro, Oden. Okay, Kanjuro is just a bad mother. Yeah, and because of that, it's really good. What I mean is, Kanjuro seems to have no feelings, right? He is so dedicated to his role. He, at least, right, is bringing about some tension, making me hate a character, but also love a character. What I absolutely like, though, is that it's not going with the standard shonen trope of this character, because he spent so much time with them, he's changed his mind. Kanjuro is doubling down. He stabbed Ashura and came back and stabbed Kiku. He was like, what are you doing? But then after he gets cut down by Kinemon, he's like, you know what? While I was acting, you were my best friend. Now the question is, do you think any of these people are dead? Do you think Kinemon is dead because Kaido shows up and Ragnaraku on Kinemon? Do you think he's dead? What about Ashura Doji? What about Kiku? What do you think she's dead? I don't know. I'm leaning towards no. Until we see a definitive funeral, I will not believe any of these characters are dead. I think Kinemon more than likely definitely isn't dead. Kiku and Kanjuro, I can see it, right? I can more so see that. Don't believe it though. But Kaido's running cleanup. And Oda made sure to point out that Onigashima is now floating over the capital. Now, there's so much more we can talk about, but I gotta get over my hype, because I'm just gonna be hyping everything when we gotta sit down and really dissect the Joy Boy stuff, the Momonosuke stuff. Plus, I gotta go back and read some panels just to, I guess, understand this with the added context, right? Great chapter, so much information, so much hype for the future as well. How is it looking for the raid? Not good. Not good, but Luffy will be back. He will be back. I still don't think the raid is failing. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Morge, man. But guys, give me your thoughts. What do you feel like? How do you feel about this chapter? What do you think about Kaido, what he said? What do you think about Momonosuke and what he said? And do you think our boy Luffy is done? Because he's in the water right now. We gotta wait and see, guys. Give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Guys, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.